Hello, fictional. Welcome to the Fiction Series X. Today we are gonna see, what if Issei was left alone after Trihexa's rampage? Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Prelude. Hello, my name is Issei. My last name doesn't matter anymore. It's been less than a year since I became a devil, but the whole world is empty. It's been 6 months Trihexa returned to this world as Rizavam was successful at breaking its seal. Trihexa killed everyone who wasn't a dragon. Vali was slaughtered after trying to fight that monster. I miss him, as he was my rival, but was also like my best friend. It was like Natsu and Gray's relationship from Fairly Flail, and an anime that still hasn't been finished because well everyone is dead. So what have I been doing the last 6 months since I had everything taken away from me? I have been looking into how to go back in time. I spent the first month in hell trying to find the spell in the Grigori and in the main family libraries. I looked in all of the major libraries as I was desperate at the time as my lovers got killed and my best friends died in front of my eyes. After I realized that this was my chance to do something right, I went searching in heaven too. That was what I was doing for the half of the second month. As I was at the end, Drake finally woke up and I had told him what had happened. For the second half I spent time in the sacred gear room that God created. There we found our answer. God had created a spell that would allow one to return back in time with his current body. Meaning I would return with me and Drake together with our memories since Drake and me were connected. But in order to use such a spell I would need to get stronger. While I was in Hades and came to the river Styx. I spent the last 3 months and crafted a total of 18 rings. Each ring had its own color stone-like gem. Of them had a different name on it. Once I was finished I headed back up to heaven to go back in time. That leads me to now. I am in God's office where he left the spell portal to go back in time. The only question is when. Back to when I was a kid so I could get even stronger, or during the fight against Riser and win that match, or go to when Diodora kidnapped Asia, or I could go back to the night I made love with Rias. Remembering all of these memories made me remember why God made such a spell. It was to save others. After all of this time I knew one moment which I wanted to fix more than ever. "Oh spell lost ages," I said as I activated the portal after getting into my Dragon God Heavenly Dragon 4 mode. I had a mission to do and that is to save lives, and I will get everyone through it this time. I will win this time, I said as I go through the portal. Scene break in what was the past which is now the present. "I won't let you get away, you bitch," I said at the fleeing Rainer. "This is for Asia." I punched Rainer in the face, sending her through the window. "That felt good," I said, stumbling down as Kiba caught me. "Look at you handling that on your own," Kiba was saying as I fainted. A light surrounded my body. As I woke up personality-wise, I transformed my body to body from the future. I guess I brought my body back too. I am also wearing some of my rings. I saw Kiba right next to me. I then hugged him. Man, was I glad to see him again, although I do miss the she version. "Kiba, is this really you?" I whisper into his ear. Kiba was surprised by this. After all, my body did grow a lot in comparison to what it was at this time, and not to mention I ask him if it is really him, because it has been a while since I saw Kiba as a guy. "Yes, Issei, it is me, why do you ask?" Kiba asked in confusion. I then hug him tightly knowing that I saw him get killed. "Nothing, Kiba, it's just good to see you again," I said, speaking of the future. "I mean, it has been 6 months since I saw them all get killed." I pulled myself together to reenact what needed to be done. "What took you so long?" I asked Kiba, repeating the words from my past. "Ria's orders, sorry," Kiba said as Ria's came out of the shadows. "But seriously?" I once again said my past, knowing that this isn't the time to change the past. "Seriously?" Riaz said. "I believe in you." Once my business was finished, I went to the basement and found Kaneko and Kiba in free for all with some fallen angel followers. "I don't know if we wouldn't have gotten out without you," Kiba said as Kaneko opened the giant doors of the church. "Did someone order this?" Kaneko says while carrying Rainer. "You must be Rainer, lovely entrance," Ria says before declaring her status as the next head. "Remery, you have got to be kidding me," Rainer says with fright. "It's wonderful to meet you, what a shame we don't have time to chat. But sadly it's time for you to join your friends," Ria says with a ball of destruction in her hands, throwing it slowly at Rainer. Luckily I move faster than it. I deflect it to the wall while knocking out Rainer. "Issei, why did you do that?" Ria says to me with anger evident in her voice. "She was the one who killed you in Asia. Why did you save her?" "I plan on making her bend to my domination," I say as I pull out the boosted gear. "I am the red dragon of domination and the wielder of Drag. I will make her submit to me if I have to." As I say that I begin to release some of my aura that I gained in my training. I have seen that she is being used by someone. I also believe she will be useful in a little fight with a certain fire user. I say, seeing Ria's confused face as she wonders how I knew of Riser. She realizes that I am right, that having a fallen under their custody would help her out. Make sure to let your brother and Grafia about your new prisoner. Can you go revive Asia and return these to her, I say as I hand the twilight healing rings to Riaz as I set up Rainer's body back to the chairs in the church. Riaz performs the ceremony and Asia and I have the same conversation as we did in the past. I then take Rainer to a nearby hotel after calling my parents telling them I was staying at a friend's house. Ugh, what happened to me? Rainer said looking around the room, meeting my eyes filled with glee as I was happy she was alive. Why did you save me after I tried to kill you and then kill Asia? She asked me as if she regained her sanity. I saved you for a few reasons. One is that I need you and I know that you were under Kakabiel's mind control. 2, that I love you. And 3, I believe that you are the key to helping me save the future. And 4, it will help you if you live. I said as I lied down beside her on the bed. She turns to me. What do you mean I was under mind control and what do you mean about the future? Rainer asked curiously. Kakabiel is prepping up to start a war. Do you really think Azazel would be happy if you killed one of the users of the Red Dragon Emperor after searching for it for so long? I say to her knowing Azazel wouldn't mind if I spoke about him. No, I guess you are right. That makes sense, but what about my other question? Rainer asked me. Take this easy and try to not act surprised when I say this. I stop to see her nod her head. I come from a terrible future which Trihexa has killed all but dragons. I had to see my friends and lovers get killed right in front of me. I say, crying a little, remembering the horror of that day. My whole body shivers as I remember that day. Rainer gently hugs me and puts her head on my chest as if to assure me that things will be alright. I spent 2 months looking for the spell to go back. I looked all over hell, then went to heaven when I found my answer in God's chamber. But I needed to be stronger to use it. So I spent a month just on training. Back then I didn't have anything else to do, so I trained my body for 12 hours a day, while the other 12 were devoted to going to training with Drake as we fought in the boosted gear. I came back to this time to save you because you were killed in my original timeline. It looks like I used God's device to save a life already. I said with a smile on my face. Rest now, Issei. You have school in the morning. Rainer says to me in a comforting way as I was drifting to sleep. I love you, Rainer, I say before falling asleep. I love you too, my savoir. I hear as I head off to my dream state to go speak with Drake. Drake, do you remember the future? I ask a big red dragon that is with me in the white room. Yes, I do, Issei. Luckily our plan worked. Your body transformed to what we did during that month of training, and you have those rings. Drake said back to me. I am still amazed that it worked. We saved Rainer and conquered her heart. I tell Drake happily. Yes, but now you have to deal with Akeno and her hatred for the fallen. Drake said. Oh shit, I didn't think of that. I will take care of her and Riser because he should be here tomorrow. I remember his familiar outside of the occult research club room, so I will lure him there tomorrow and beat him in a fight. Now Issei, don't get too overconfident in your powers now, Drake said smiling knowing I will win. But Drake, I am technically the son of Office and Great Red. A simple phoenix is nothing to me. Especially one who overuses his powers like how he does. Plus I am technically your younger brother since you also contributed to my new DNA. So once again, how can a mere bird triumph against me, the son of the 2 dragon gods and the brother of Drake? I say confidently knowing that I am stroking Drake's big ego. Also with our new power, we won't have to be the Oppi dragon. We will be feared by our enemies as the greatest Sekiruite that ever existed. I say, reminding him of our curse that has been broken by going back in time. Drake starts to tear up as he realized that those 2 words didn't cause him to have any problems anymore. Fine, Issei. I expect it would be easy for you to do, but do me a favor and make it go from a fight to a slaughter. Drake tells me as I smiled. I already had that in mind. I said I must go. Drake, contact me whenever you want. After all, we will be with each other longer than what I will be with the girls. I mean, you already have a year ahead of them. Scene change. I wake up to a cute Rainer, whom I think I will call Ray from now on. I have to go back to the club room to piss off a phoenix and help Akeno out. As I walked out of the room, I whispered into Ray's ear, I love you, my light Ray. Then I head off to the club room. As I get there I approach how I did in the past, trying to keep as close to the timeline as possible. Yo, it's your favorite servant. I say as I see Riaz smiling while drinking her tea. I say, I am surprised you are here today. Riaz said. So why did you save that fallen? I could tell that look in your eye you had a different reason other than love. See that bird in the window? Let's piss it off and then I will tell you everything. I whisper into her ear while pointing to the bird. Okay fine, but I better enjoy this. She said knowing it was Riser's familiar and the power she felt off Issei was stronger. I then pull her in for a hot makeout session. Boy, I haven't had one of these in months. All of a sudden Riser came out of a magic circle nearby pissed off. Who dares take what is Riser's? He says still talking in the third person. I say to him I do. I have rightfully claimed what was mine already as seen by my dragon mark on her neck. I say as I try to fool him with some of Natsu's mating rituals from Fairly Flare, hoping to fool Riser. She isn't someone to fool around with, but I will do you a favor. We wager in a fight, me versus you. Winner gets Rias. I say out loud. Don't worry Rias, this is all a part of what I have to tell you. I tell Rias over telepathy. Fine, just be quick, and as payment for this after you are done, give me another one of those hot kisses after. Rias said over telepathy. You know I will, I said as Graphia came in and teleported us to the arena that Surzich's put me and Razor in my old time. Time to show off some of my true strength, I say, entering into scale mail immediately. Then entering into my Ternina, go Welsh Turkana Crook. I say as my armor changed for strength and protection. Luckily, I am still faster than him. I shall teach you not to mess with your betters. He screams at me while punching my armor. His hand broke upon punching my armor without me punching him. How is it that such a low devil could have such strength? He asked while nursing his hand. Simple, once I learned that she had such filth as a fiancé, I knew that I needed to sacrifice something important to beat you. So I gave up my humanity. I said, mostly lying, but the truth was that in order to come back from Samuel's curse, I got the body from Red and Office so I could rejoin Rias, and I don't feel like explaining that right now. So technically it's the truth. You realize now there is no going back, right? Riser says, realizing he can't win. I will do anything to protect those I love and care about, and right now you are a threat to my Rias. So I shall end you now, I say after punching him in the chest as he faints. Ravel shows up and tries to stop me from hurting him further. I like her, after all she was in my harem and she was a great manager. Ravel, I don't want to hurt you. If you ever feel lonely you can come to me. I know you. I have a secret that will you to assure you that you were one of my lovers. As a kid you used to fear your flames, and that is why you are as his peerage, because you needed to get used to your flames. At first you had major seizures about it. Then it started coming easier for you. I tell her one of her stories of the past so I can get her on my side. How do you know this? She says, a bit scared. Because you, yourself, told me. I say as I whisper into her ear. I am from the future and I have come to the past to fix the time stream so I don't have to see you or my other lovers die in front of me again. I say as I begin to cry as the images of their bodies comes back to me. I then feel her hug around me. She looked into my eyes as she sees what I remember. Okay, I believe you. When do you want me to join your side again? Ravel whispers into my ear. Rejoin me at the peace conference between the three factions. I will make sure that you will be safe then and there. I whisper back as I leave to rejoin Rias. So care to explain now? Rias says, probably ticked off that I was whispering into Ravel's ear. Okay, but you can't tell anyone. I say, getting a confirming nod from Rias. I am from a bad future where I saw you and my other lovers killed. Well, I saw everyone killed. I came back in time to save Rainer so that we can have a better chance at fighting it. I said, not giving her the complete story. I will help with your peerage as they were all my mates. So even Kiba was one of your mates? Rias said while giggling. It was when the gender change gun was invented by a friend of mine. I need you to just trust me, Rias. We will need to keep Ray a secret until a certain point in time in order to make a better future. Okay? I asked Rias. Her response was a tongue in my mouth confirming it was a yes. The door chooses then to open with Kiba, Kaneko, and Akeno on the other side. Is the president making moves on Issei just because of last night? Akeno asked. No, it was a simple thank you for helping me break my engagement with Riser. Ria said proudly that her pawn was able to beat him. I want to be your lover still, Issei, just try not to get too many girls, okay? Rias tells me over telepathy. It was you, Akeno, Kaneko, female Kiba, Roswius, Office, Asia, Zenobia, Ravel, Serafo, Kuroka, and Tiamat. But then again I only come from a future where I was with you guys for 9 months. I tell her, trying to remember all of the names. I added Tiamat because I need to convince her to join me when we go to get familiars. But grief boy, you really get the ladies. I will accept it as long as you love me. Ria's sad. Of course I will. I proved that by beating up Riser up earlier than what was predicted. I tell Rias as I cut off the communication so we can join in Asia's welcome party. As we do so, I am reminded that I didn't get one, but then again I ended up with all of the love I need. I thought to myself with a smile on my face as I remember my old past. Kaneko looks at me and calls me a pervert like she used to. Well, with my recent change, I am only going to be a pervert in the bedroom, my little kitten. I said it in a whisper, the last part into Kaneko's ear. As she heard me call her my little kitten, she blushed and also wide-eyed at me, knowing what she was. We will talk after school. I said to her. I am going to go to class now. See you all later. I said as I leave out the door. Scene break. It is after school. Today was a big fiasco because I told my 2 good friends, who I know will betray me, that I am not going peaking anymore because I had a girlfriend who helped me straighten my life out and that she will be transferring in before the next term to be with me. Of course I was speaking of Ray, but they don't need to know that. But everyone freaked out that the perverted beast was no longer peeping. When they asked me what happened, I simply told them when you get to be perverted with the one you love, you tend to stop being perverted outside of the bedroom to save those moments for the one you love. At that, the girls really freaked out that I said something deep and meaningful. I am meeting with Akeno first because of last night. I see her in the hall. Akeno, will you join me on the roof? I ask her, getting a nod from her. We climb up the stairs, and as we both sat on the picnic table, I start on the touchiest subject of all of the girls. Akeno, I know what you are and I know how it happened. I start off. How do you know what I have been through? Akeno says angrily, which is understandable from her view, well from mine, I have known her for months. Keep this a secret. I am from the future and trust me, it is not pretty. I tell her. As for your past, you confided it to me because I was and still are up till I saw you get murdered. I started tearing up once again, visualizing Akeno's death. The blood, feathers and the flesh all came to my mind. I didn't notice it, but she saw it too from looking into my eyes. I was only spared because of what I was, Akeno. So I came back to the past to make sure you don't die on me ever again. I don't know what I would do if I saw it again. I say as I weep into her shoulder. Here I was trying to comfort her, but now she is doing it for me instead. SHH, it's alright, Issei. I can tell by the way you spoke was the truth. Your eyes showed me that scene that you had. So, I'm going to put my trust and love into you. I heard what you said to Riaz before, and after Riser came, I just was scared to come out to tell you. I am willing to share you as long as you give me some love. And as for that Fallen, it will take a while to get used to her. Akeno said to me. I break the hug to caress her cheek. Just take it one step at a time, love, just accept what you are and we will take it step by step. I said, then kissed her, and we enjoyed a make-out session as we explored each other's mouths. I do have something for you to make my story more believable. I said, pulling off one of my rings. It was a topaz stone with the name Shuri on it. Is this what I think this is? Akeno asked, holding the stone while tearing up. Yep, within that rock is the soul of your mom, Akeno. When I was coming back in time, I thought I would get this for you. There might be a chance to get her back to the world of the living. I tell her. Azazel might be willing to help us since he owes us in a way. Thank you, Issei. Akeno said, crying while looking at the ring and holding it close to her. I need to go speak to Kaneko now. She needs to know the truth about her sister. I said. I found Kaneko while walking to the candy shop. Kaneko, can you come with me to the park? I ask her simply. She nods in response. As we walk to the park, we walk in silence. We sat down underneath a tree. Kaneko, how much of your sister's previous master do you know about? I start up as kids around us are giggling and playing games. Some kids were playing tag while the others played with a frisbee. We sat there in quietness, well that is until a frisbee hits me in the face, catching me off guard. I don't know anything. Kaneko said sadly. Well, here is a shocker, he was using you and your sister as test subjects. The other devils wouldn't admit that he was testing on her and declared her as a stray devil. She killed him because you were reacting badly and your sister wouldn't have it. So she killed him. I wanted you to know the truth, that she didn't just go berserk, she did it out of her kindness for you. I say, glad I am avoiding telling her that I am from the future. There will come a day where someone will realize why she did that and take away her label as a stray devil. How do you know this, senpai? Kaneko asks me. I facepalm myself. I then tell her that I was from the future. I once again begun to cry again as I visualized Kaneko's body this time. She looked into my eyes and saw her own dead body. She, like the other two, accepts me and accepts the fact that I am a dragon and cannot be tamed by more than one person. Should I tell Asia next about being from the future? I ask Kaneko as she nods. It wouldn't be fair to Asia senpai if you didn't tell her too. Then what the hell do I tell Kiba? I said with a hint of distress. Tell him that he transforms into a girl and that we have sex in the nurse's office. No thank you, that is one thing I don't want to tell him about. Kaneko giggled at my reaction. Tell him after you help him with his problem. Kaneko said while probably thinking how seductive I must be if I can get a boy to change genders. But his problem won't happen for another month. I complained as she gave me one of those stares to your soul. Okay then, just wait. Unless you can't wait for him to be your lover again, Issei. Kaneko said with a teasing in her voice. Who knew that the perverted beast would bat for both teams? I am only a perverted beast in the bedroom. I thought I made that clear to everyone. I said while putting my face into my hands. I feel Kaneko cuddling to me with her cat ears out. She looked so cute that I feel asleep next to her. Scene skip. Once I woke up, I went to check on Ray. As I went up to see her, she seems to have not left the room. Hey, Ray, what's up? I ask her. Oh, Issei, it's you. I was wondering if I can move in with you. I can't stand it. Ray said. I will have to speak to Asia and Riaz about it. Both of them are moving into my house right now, so I will need to speak with them. You would have to share my bed with me, is that cool? Yeah, why wouldn't I? Ray said. I just hope I don't have to see your dead body too. I whispered in her ear as I hold her in my arms. I will see about you being transferred into the school. But when Kakabiel shows up I want you to hide here in this hotel. Okay? I will bring you your homework every day. And keep the Kakabiel coming to yourself. She nods. I then kiss her as I leave to go home to where Riaz and Asia were. As I expected that you two moved in. Asia, I need to speak to you for a second. I say aloud. Sure, Issei, let's head to your room. Asia said with a smile on her face. We walk up my stairs as I about to tell the last girl for now. I still have to tell Kiba and Gasper, who I will try to see tomorrow over the internet. I don't want to imagine the Kiba conversation. As we walked into my room, Asia sat down at the desk as I sat on the bed. Asia, I saved Rainer for a reason. Once again I was starting on a bad note, but it seems like she doesn't care. She will be living here so I can keep her in line. Issei, I am happy for what she did. Otherwise I couldn't be with you for the rest of my life. Asia said, causing me to tear up about the future. Asia, that might not be too long away. I tell her, hinting at the future. What do you mean, Issei? Asia asked me. Asia, after I punched Rainer, I came back from the future. I said, starting to really hate this talk, repeating similar lines and having bad memories come back. I should ask Drake if he can seal that away. The future was terrible. I saw all of my lovers slaughtered in front of my eyes. You were one of them. I came back to the past to save us all. The first step was to save her. She will cause a big difference in our life. I said, remembering Asia's cold dead body. I start crying. I am scared. I guess seeing the dead bodies of your lovers will do that to you. Asia, I will protect you all this time. I say as I hug her tightly. It's okay, Issei. I noticed you said lovers. I want you to know that I am fine with that. As long as I get some love I would be fine. Asia said with a smile on her face. Thanks, Asia. I gotta talk to my parents quickly. While I am doing that, can you ask Riaz if she can talk Sona about getting Ray transferred as a new student? I ask Asia. Yes, I will, Issei. Asia answered as she left for Riaz's room. I leave my room to go to the living room where my parents are. Mom, Dad, I was wondering if my girlfriend could move in with me in my room. I ask them. Their faces turn to pure shock to happiness. I have always wanted a grandchild. I almost given hope on him finding a girl. My dad said. I take that as a yes, I say, turning to see them shake their heads. I decided that this is the time to get some help. Mom, Dad, I come from the future. I have seen all of my lovers being killed in front of me, and now I am traumatized. During that massacre you two were also killed. I am not a human, I am a dragon. I wanted you to know in case I die that you can be proud of me even if I die mysteriously. What happened next felt like a moment from a picture book. My parents hugged me. They haven't hugged me in years. And those 6 months of panic made time go slower mentally. Issei, we are sorry we made you feel so guilty. We realize that we never got the chance to say how proud we are of you to take the abuse you do. My mom said as my dad followed up. We really shouldn't have treated you as an outcast with your ways. Maybe if we did, maybe you might be different. We used to think that your only accomplishment you might get was having a child. But now we see that you have exceeded those goals, and it's not every day someone gets to be told that their son is a dragon. No matter what, Issei, we love you no matter what happens. I break down even worse. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Now, Issei, head up to your room, you need your sleep, my mom said. Thanks, Mom. I said as I went upstairs to ask Riaz what Sona's answer was. I see Riaz in front of my door. Hey Issei, good news, Rainer can start the day after tomorrow. And Oni-sama wishes us well. Grafia told him about the fight you and Rizer had. He will meet with you next month when he can get the time off. Riaz said with a smile on her face. Can I sleep with you for tonight? I know Ray will be sleeping in your bed with you tomorrow, so I wanted to try it with my future husband. Riaz asks with a blush. Sure, but let's get through this year before we go husband and wife. Okay. I say as I lie down on my back so Riaz could use me as her body pillow like she always did. We just laid there as we fell asleep. Good old memories. We are currently waiting for guests to arrive. Issei took this time to look back at the month that has flown by. It's been a month since Issei crushed Rizer. In that time Rainer has come to school and came to live with Issei. After speaking to Issei, Kaneko has begun her training to harness her power. Akeno, after speaking to her, seems to be more aggressive and changed her focus from hating Full into working with them to seduce Issei. So far it has worked very well, but Issei don't indulge himself as Issei am saving my first time with Riaz. Issei had Rainer go into hiding so no one can detect her, would be easier to explain to Kiba, so he didn't have to tell Kiba about that night. Issei was remembering was what happened while he was sitting on the couch while they waited when Issei went back to the familiar forest on his own. Get a familiar. Flashback. Issei is in the realm of familiars. Issei is currently on what most consider their death march. Issei went to the gruesome caves to seek assistance from Tiamat about the fight against Trihexa. Issei walked through the jungle and find myself at a cave with head torches at the entrance. Hello, I need to speak to Tiamat, one of the 5 dragon kings. I come with news. Issei scream into the cave below. I am the current Red Dragon Emperor and I seek your assistance. Issei met with a feminine dragon face. This dragon had pink-purple scales that made her look appealing to Issei dragon-wise. You have one weird scent on you and I want to know what it is. Tiamat complained. Can you take on your human form? I have something to discuss. Issei tell her. She transforms into a woman with an hourglass figure with a very big butt. Wow, you really are gorgeous. Issei exclaimed. Okay, so spill what is with you and your aura. Tiamat said, blushing at Issei's compliment. I am reborn from the skin of Great Rat and Office. I also gained the true dragon powers of Drag, one of the heavenly dragons. Issei told her, not realizing the idea of Great Rat and Office working together is an impossibility in this timeline. Ahaha, you are real funny kid. Those two never got along. Why you think that I am just going to believe you? Tiamat sneered at Issei. Simple, Trihexa. Issei told Tiamat, making her shiver at the sound of the name. Trihexa will break free. I came from the future where I didn't spend enough time with my dream and infinite powers, so I couldn't beat him, and I know that was why I was reborn from those Office and Great Red. So why are you here, hatchling? Tiamat asked. Simple. I am a devil and I need a partner to be my familiar to help me out with training. Would you be willing to help me out? Issei asked her, already thinking of her answer. Silence comes into the room as she considers Issei's offer. Sure. I guess training the next Red Dragon Emperor would have its merits to it and I need a workout. Issei, I can already tell from your aura that it is a combination of the 2 big dragons. You have a combination of dark red aura and bright white aura from the 2 dragons. Your first lesson is how to contain your aura so your enemies don't know how strong you are. So how long do we have left? Trihexa said. Less than 9 months left, I am afraid. We may be able to stop it from being released in the first place, but we have to wait a month till we can start my plan. Does that sound good to you? In return, I will give you access to my farm of dragon apples, something I learned from Tynan in my future how to cultivate. You have already convinced me, young hatchling. Tiamat says with a smile. Issei then faints and falls into her arm. He likely fainted from the travel here. It takes a lot out of someone to get here from the gate. I let him sleep inside my bedroom. After all, he is my partner, or should I say mate. Tiamat thought with a devilish smile came to her face. Later that day. Where am I? Issei asked, waking up in an unfamiliar room. You're in my room, mate. Said Tiamat as she came into Issei's view. What do you mean by mate? Issei asked, thinking that this was moving faster than he predicted. Well, we are partners from here on out, so I figured that was what you meant. After all, I could use a mate as I am approaching that age. I could use a strong mate too. I sort of expected it, just not so quickly. Issei said, wiping some sweat off his forehead. But geez, that escalated quickly. But just so you know, you are going to have to wait till I give Rias my first time again. Fine, I can wait a while. Let us seal up our contract then. Tiamat said, kissing Issei on his lips, making the contract complete. Well, that was unexpected. I thought there was a paper and pen version. Issei asked. Well, when you are as strong like me, this is used to make a commitment with us. Since our partnership is finalized, from now on call me Tia. Said Tiamat. Alright then, it is nice to meet you, Tia. Issei said, making her blush. Now if you don't mind, I have to return to school. My body becoming muscular compared to my past self scared some of the humans at my school. Luckily, I came up with a training regimen that was impossible. I mean 1000 push-ups, sit-ups and pull-ups, getting this strong of a body in just a weekend. Goes to show how gullible humans can be. Issei said, laughing as he remembered how his classmates reacted when they saw his future body, one that he would have gotten in another 15 months. Flashback end. Just as Issei snapped back into reality, the door was knocked on. Come in, Rias said. Thank you for seeing us today. I am Zenobia. The girl with the blur hair said. And I am Arena. The chestnut said. These are 2 of the girls Issei mentioned. I better keep an eye on them. Rias thought. It amuses me that the members of the church wish to speak to a devil. So why? Here is the thing. There are 6 of the 7 pieces of Excalibur. 3 are motionless in the church, while 3 were stolen fallen angles. Arena explained. Issei smiled at this. This time I will mock that crow before I can destroy him, Issei thought. I will tell Azazel to let me have the fun. These are the ones we have. I have Excalibur Destruction and Arena has Mimic. Zenobia followed up. So what would you like for us to do today? Rias asked. Leave us alone. Our request, no. Our order is to not to have any devils intrude in the battle between us and the fallen angels for the Excaliburs. In other words, we came here to tell you not to interfere with this incident. Ria's eyes changed after hearing the way Zenobia talked. Such manner of speech. Is it restraint? Are you thinking that we might collaborate with those fallen angels? Perhaps that we might team up with them to do something with Excalibur? Ria said with a cool tone. The headquarters think that it might not be impossible. Zenobia said. There were chills within Ria's eyes. She was quite pissed. An enemy comes all the way to her territory. Then tells her not to be involved and not to butt in. Also they said whatever they wanted to by saying that they would not forgive us if we formed an alliance with the fallen angels, which forgets includes Rainer. Ria's pride as a high-class devil wouldn't allow her to keep quiet about it. The higher-ups don't trust devils and fallen angels. We were ordered as if the holy swords are taken away from God's side, then the devils would also be happy, right? The fallen angels would also profit from it. For those reasons it won't be weird for them to form an alliance. That's why we are giving you a warning. If you form an alliance with the fallen angel Kakabiel, then we will eliminate you all. Even if you're the little sister of the Mau, by our boss. Zenobia said it casually without caring about Ria's glare. If you know that I am the sister of a Mau, then it means that you have lots of connections with the higher-ups in the church. Then I will say it. We will not form an alliance with the fallen angels. Never. In the name of the Gremory House. I will not do something that would tarnish the name of our Mau. Ria said firmly, absent-mindedly forgetting about Rainer, who she actually got along with very well. It had become a contentious situation for both sides. But Zenobia laughed. Pooh. Hearing that is good enough. I had to warn you just in case that Kakabiel is hiding himself in this town along with the 3 Excaliburs. If something were to happen, I would be the one to be hated by the bunch in the church headquarters. Well, we won't ask for cooperation. If you were to form an alliance with God's side temporarily, then it would affect the balance of the 3 factions. Especially if it's the little sister of a Mau. After hearing Zenobia, Ria softened her expression and took a breath. Where is the person the Orthodox Church dispatched? Ria asked. Zenobia answered Ria's question. They have that person put on hold for this case. They are planning to protect the last Excalibur if Irina and I fail. So it's just the 2 of you? You are going to retrieve the Excaliburs from the leader of the fallen angel with just the 2 of you? How reckless. Are you trying to die? Ria said it with an amazed voice. But Irina and Zenobia said it with straight eyes. Yes. I have the same view as Irina, but if it's possible I don't want to die. They said. You came here to Japan prepared to die. The belief in your teaching is extreme like always. Ria said. Don't talk ill of our beliefs, Ria's Gremory. Right, Zenobia. Irina said. Right. Also the church decided that it would be better to eliminate all of the Excaliburs rather than letting them get used by the fallen angels. Our minimum objective is to get the Excaliburs away from the fallen angels. To accomplish that, it's okay for us to die. The only way to fight against the Excaliburs are Excaliburs. Zenobia said. Is it possible with only the 2 of you? Issei asked in the place of Ria's. Well, we won't die in vain. Zenobia said fearlessly to Issei's question. You seem confident. Do you have a secret weapon? Ria's asked. Maybe. I will leave it to your imagination. Zenobia said while Issei whispered Durandal. Zenobia was the only one that heard Issei and was shocked from hearing the right words. After that, the 2 of them just stared at each other and the conversation stopped. Irina and Zenobia looked at each other and stood up. Then we will take our leave now. Let's go, Irina. Zenobia said, standing up from the couch. So you won't drink your tea? I can prepare a snack for you. Ria said. I don't need it. Zenobia declined Ria's offer with her hand. I'm sorry. See you. Irina also apologized with her hand. They didn't try to accept Ria's offer and the 2 of them tried to leave. Then both of them looked in the same direction. It was Asia. When I saw you in Haidu Issei's house I thought that maybe it was you. Are you the witch Asia Argento? I never expected to meet you in a place like this. Zenobia said. Asia's body shook after she was called witch. That word is something painful to Asia. Irina seemed like she noticed as well and stared at Asia. Issei was starting to get mad. Are you the rumored witch? The former holy maiden? You are said to have the power that can also heal devils and fallen angels, right? I heard that you were sent somewhere after getting exiled, but I never thought you became a devil. Zenobia said with a big question. Asia didn't know how to react to Irina and Zenobia. It's okay. I won't tell the higher-ups what I saw here, so rest assured. People who were around the holy maiden Asia will also get shocked as well. Irina said. Asia made a perplexed expression at Irina's words. But to become a devil. The one who was called a holy maiden. You fell to the lowest place you could. Do you still believe in our God? Zenobia said with venom in her voice. Zenobia. There's no way that she, who became a devil, still believes in God. Irina said it with an amazed face. No, I can smell the belief from her. It might be an abstract way of saying it. But I'm sensitive to these things. There are people who betray the teachings and still have guilt within them because they couldn't forget the teachings. I can feel something similar coming from her. Zenobia said it with sharp eyes, and Irina stared at Asia even more with interested eyes. Is that true? Asia, you still believe in God even if you have turned into a devil? Asia replied to that question with a sad expression, I just can't put it aside. I believed in it for my whole life. Hearing that, Zenobia took her sword out from the cloth and pointed it at Asia. Is that so? Then you should be cut down by us this instant. If it's now, I can cut you in the name of God. Even if you have sinned, our God will forgive you. Zenobia approached Asia. Issei stood in front of Asia to protect her. Don't touch her. Issei said, knowing that this was his chance. Zenobia backed off as far as she could. You have no right to try to judge her like that or to call her a witch. Issei said with his dragon aura slipping though. Believe me, that is nicest descriptions I have for her. Zenobia said. You will regret those words one day. Issei whispered to Zenobia so only she could hear not the threat but the sadness in those words instead. I don't want to hear it. You were the ones that forced her into that life and just because of one mistake you throw her out. Issei, that is enough. Ria said. That is perfect, I will take all of you on. Kiba said, coming into the room. And who are you? Zenobia asked. Someone who came before you. I was a failure though. Kiba said. They went outside to set up the fight. Kiba summoned up his swords. Finally, my object is in sight. The thing I wanted most to destroy appeared in front of my eyes willingly. Kiba said like a crazed maniac. They moved outside so. Issei, it's totally you. Said Irina with sparkles in her eyes. Since the fight was started, Issei already moved. Issei got in her face and pulled at her nose. Hey Irina, I have your nose. Issei said, faking that he had her nose, knowing how gullible she is. Hey. Give that back. Irina said. Alright, but you have to catch me. Issei said, playfully, leaving at a pace that she could follow. You won't get away. Irina said, following after Issei, smiling as she was playing with her friend from all those years ago, just like how they would when they were kids. Everyone was stunned. The devils all thought Issei was going to use his dress break on Irina, but he didn't. He didn't even have the boosted gear out and still rushed the girl just to pull her nose. Zenobia was surprised that Irina let herself be taken off guard to follow a devil. Back with Issei. Now it's my turn to say that you can't tag me. Issei said, luring Irina to a hill that overlooks the town. Irina was breathing hard when she got to the hill. Why did you lead me here, Issei? Irina said, throwing away the mincet that she was after her nose. Do you remember we used to play here? I brought you here so I could tell you how I winded up as a devil. It was simply because I am the Red Dragon Emperor. If I joined one side of the three-way war, what would the other factions try to do? Issei said. Irina sat down on the hill and stayed silent. I would be a threat. So one of the sides took it ahead of themselves to kill me. Luckily Ria saved me and I became a devil like that. That doesn't mean I am your enemy though. For I too own a holy weapon. Issei said, shocking Irina. Issei summoned the boosted gear and pulled out Ascalon. This is my sword. It chose me a long time ago. So see, I am not against you. Issei said, handing her Ascalon so she could verify that it was holy. How did you get this? Irina asked, stunned. Let's just say the soul within the blade that chose me. Enough about that. How about I help you not as a devil but as a dragon? Issei asked. Sure, Issei. Irina said with a smile. I do want to ask if I could get Kiba into this. He will be of help to you if you get him on your side. Especially when he loses to Zenobia. Issei said. Irina looked at him. What we both could tell, Kiba is fighting blindly. Plus with that sword Zenobia has in the back, Kiba couldn't make a sword strong enough yet. Issei said. Yet? Irina asked. Yeah, yet. I think he has potential, but he is too blind from his anger about being killed for that project. I am pretty sure Michael himself didn't order for those kids to be killed. You can use Kiba's anger to get the swords back and get rid of the blotch that caused that project. Win-win, right? Issei said. Irina chuckled at her old friend's convincing words. You really got good with using your words, Issei. I just can't win against you. It was about time I won an argument with you. The main reason I brought you here is so I could remember our first kiss. Remember. It might have been an accident, but it still counts, Issei said as Irina blushed. Well, let's go back to the school. I have to meet back up with Zenobia. Irina said. I'll come find you after school tomorrow. I have to go meet with someone for work. Issei said. Okay, I will see you then. Before you leave, come give me a hug. Irina said, giving Issei a hug before walking off to the school. I am sorry that you are going to have to do this, Issei said while heading to the pier. Back with Irina. She arrived to see Kiba knocked out on the ground. After hearing what happened to Issei, maybe something similar happened to him that he had to give up so he could escape. Now that I think about it, Asia might be the same. Irina thought. Irina turned to Asia. I am sorry, Asia, for my words. Even if you switch teams. You don't deserve that harsh treatment. Irina said to Asia, catching everyone off guard. It's fine. Asia said. Where is Issei? Riaz asked. Issei reminded me of what we used to hang out together and that he is the same Issei I knew when we were little. Kind and caring. Issei said he got a call from his employer. Irina said. Come on, Zenobia, let's go. she said as she pulled Zenobia out of the area, catching her off guard. Issei must have gotten a call from his only regular. Riaz said. Kiba already left. He was mad that he couldn't take losing to Zenobia. Be safe, Issei. Riaz thought as they headed back to the clubroom. Back with Issei at the dock. Hey, it's just the person I wanted to see. Issei said to his client regular. Oh? And why is that? The man asked. I realized I never got your name. I think it is Azazel if I am correct. Issei said, making Azazel fault. How did you figure me out? Azazel asked. I will reveal that later on. I wanted if you could ask the White One to let me take care of the crow that is coming. He can take the body away. Issei asked. That is one weird request. May I ask why? Azazel asked. Well, I guess I can let you in. Kakabiel is the one behind this issue. I know he is betraying you, so sending the White makes it seem that you are taking care of it. I want you to leave it to me to take him out so Vali can take him into custody. Issei said, slipping up that he knew a lot more than what he was letting on. That made Azazel raise an eye. Fine, what is your plan then? Azazel asked. Issei then described exactly what he happens to the end. I will knock him out and the White One can pick him up. Sound good? Issei asked, dumping a lot of info on the fallen governor. Azazel put his hand through his hair. I got the plan. Are you sure this will help out to my goal? Yes, Azazel, once this mess is done I got the next step for peace planned out. Issei said, pushing his plan through. Alright, I will trust you. You seem more knowledgeable than what you appear. Especially knowing the White Dragon's name. Azazel said, making Issei face palm at his mistake. That's not something I can explain. When we meet up after we arrest him, I will let you know. Issei said while heading home to his house. But Kiba walked down an alley. Why did I lose? Was running though his head. A voice screamed out, help me. Kiba ran to the scene only to find a freshly carved up priest. That's one down. Oh hey, it's Blondie, came to check out my Excalibur. I promise it will go by rapidly. A man who came out of the shadows. Freed. The next day Issei tried to look down to get Kaneko in to help get Saji, and Issei is explaining that they should help the swordswomen with their work. Are you crazy? You are going to get us killed. And you still want to destroy them? Saji said, I mean, you have Ria, she is strict but reasonable. I have Sona, who is more draconian and just loves punishing us. Issei chuckled at draconian. You do know that you are also a dragon because of your sacred gear. So you just insulted yourself. Issei said, upsetting Saji. No way, sorry, I am out. He got up and started walking away. He was stuck by Kaneko, grabbed him from the table behind the bush. Big surprise, I knew you would try to run away. Kaneko said while eating a parfait. Issei and Saji sat down and told of their plan to get Kiba back in the right mindset and to get the church off their yard, so to speak. I just want to go home, Saji wailed, trying to leave only to have Kaneko pull him back down. So you want to work with the church? Kaneko asked. Issei shook his head. They already said they would rather see them destroyed than have them abused, didn't they? Issei retorted. Yes, they want them back in their hands, and they could fix it as long as they take its parts back. Kaneko said. If Kiba wants to get his revenge on Excalibur and the church wants what is theirs back. The goals might differ, but we can get them to work together. After all, safety is in numbers, and I would like to add some to their chance of living. I am not sure they will be as eager as you. Kaneko said. Issei whispered into her ear, trust me, my little cat. They will be willing to work with us. Remember what I told you. This was meant to happen. This made Kaneko go wide-eyed. Can I go now since you have your rook? Saji asked, wanting nothing to deal with this. Nope, we need as much support as we can get. Let's go find them. Issei said, leading to the area Issei knew where they would be. Oh, blessings of the wandering sheep before us. We are pitiful. Lord, please have mercy on us. Two voices said, making Kaneko and Saji facepalm, while Issei lightly laughed. Issei took them to a family restaurant and Zenobia and Irina were already chowing down. When they were full they realized what happened but felt like needing to ask it out loud. Or at least Zenobia did. What just happened? Did we sell ourselves out for food? Zenobia asked, holding her head in shame. Even if it is for regaining our strength, we sold ourselves to the devil. Wow, for a member of the church you really don't take donations well, Issei said, thanking Drake internally for telling him to take as much money of his own in return to never go through the op-eye dragon stuff again. Lord, please bless these devils for their kindness, Irina said while praying. Saji and Kaneko took damage, but Issei did not. How does the sound? In return for helping us clean those plates, why don't we help you clear your plate of your problem too? Issei asked Zenobia. Fine. Irina already told me of how you want to get that blonde one back on the right course. Zenobia said. Issei called Kiba and set up a meeting at the fountain. It is rather surprising to heat someone who can wield an Excalibur would ask for their destruction. Kiba said. Speaking of disappointing, I heard you left the house of Gremory. If you are a stray I will slay you if you like. Zenobia asked, pulling out destruction. They were at the fountain with the group from the restaurant was facing Kiba who was waiting for them. "You're welcome to try if you like," Kiba said using sword birth to make a sword. "Stop right there, we aren't here to fight." "Right, Zenobia," Issei said stepping out in front of the two. Zenobia shook her head. "It is understandable why you hate that project. Having to see your friends die in front of you is a tragic thing. The one behind the killings what outlasted from the church," Zenobia said. "His name is Bulba Galilei. Every so often he goes Bulba Bulba Bulbasaur," Irina said trying to make a joke to lighten the mood. Sadly only Issei got the joke with a little chuckle. "It's Valber, Irina. When he was exiled he likely joined the fallen angels. So it is likely he is probably involved in what is happening here," Zenobia said ignoring Irina's attempt at a joke. "Well, in return I think it would be best if I give you some information back. The priests that were sent here were being killed was by a man named Fried Zelzen. It is common for exiles to work together. Meet us at the church tonight. And thanks Red Dragon for this, I will return the favor," Zenobia said walking away with Irina following behind. "So this is good news then, right?" Issei said putting his hand on Saji's shoulder. Saji screamed, "This is not good news. Not only could we have been killed, but we could have started a war with the church." "Issei, I want you to stay out of this," Kiba said. Kiba told them his story about when he was in the project. Issei walked up to Kiba and pointed his finger at him. "Kiba, we are family, we look out for each other. How can you expect us to let you go just for you to be a stray?" "Right, Kaneko," Issei said. Kaneko walked up to Kiba. "I would be sad if you just left," she said. "Well, if you are with this plan so will I," Kiba said. "I have to go make a call," Issei said walking off from the group as they walked to the church. "Yo Azazel. I am calling up to make sure you remember the plan," Issei said over the phone. "Tell the White One to go to the school tomorrow night to wait for my signal. I figured I should give you some incentive in this for working with me. Your daughter, Rainer, is alive and is currently hiding at my house and wait for after Kakabia leaves. I had Surzich's sister and Barkel's daughter getting along with her. From the way things are going we will have more support for peace since Surzich's is a cis-con. Wait, Rainer is alive," Azazel said. "I will take her to meet you the night after tomorrow. I have to go now," Issei said as he was approaching the church. "Alright Issei, I will pass on the message. Take care of my daughter now," Azazel said. "I will," Issei said before hanging up. "So are you here to keep an old man company?" Azazel said to the man behind him. "Didn't know you were the type to be lonely," the man replied. "Well, I just found out my daughter is alive. Also I have a message from the Red One. He knows about you. He said that he wants to help you on your goal, for his goal is the same, he says. He said that you should be at the academy in the evening. He said that he will send you a signal when to pick up the crow," Azazel said. "Okay, I will do it. It will be interesting to see what the weakest user in history can do to our crow," the man said walking away from the pier. Back with Issei. He put on the priest outfit and they split into the two groups. "Oh Issei, in return for the food I wanted to let you know the White One is active," Zenobia said before leaving. "Let's think where they would be. It is somewhere abandoned." "Kiba, any ideas?" Issei suggested. "I think I know where," Kiba said taking Issei's bait. They walked to the abandoned factory. It was the one they fought the stray devil visor. "Something is wrong," Issei said. Off the top of the building, Fried. Kiba summoned a sword to counter. Fried and Kiba get into a tight sword fight. Issei, remember to limit the power you transfer. Too much power, he killed the bug too early. Drake said to Issei. "I already have that stored for transferring. Which is now. Saji, I need you to use your sacred gear on Fried's leg to slow him down," Issei said. "Roger that." Line, Saji said summoning his sacred gear and having it wrap around Fried's leg. "Kaneko, throw me a Kiba so I can transfer my power to him," Issei said having Kaneko pick him up and threw him. Issei then transferred his power to Kiba. "Thanks, now I will use this power as a gift that I will use gratefully. Sword birth go," Kiba said stabbing his sword into the ground making many swords surround Fried. Fried manages to keep the swords from stabbing him. "Sword birth, huh?" a man's voice said. "Who goes there?" Kiba said for some reason stopping his attack on Fried. "A sacred gear that can exhibit invincible power based on the user's ability." "Oh, Fried, looks like your use on swords can use some brushing up," the man said. "Oh look, it's old man Valber," Fried said causing Kiba to look at the man with hate. "So he is the one Zenobia mentioned. The one behind the project," Kaneko said. "Valber Galilei," Kiba said angrily getting the man's attention. "The one and only," Valber said snidely. "The one and only what, old man? Make yourself useful and help me get this lizard's tongue off me," Fried said whacking away at Saji's sacred gear. "You need to put all of your energy into the blade of the sword," Valber said making the smile return to Fried's face. "Oh, is that all?" Fried said putting the energy in the sword, making the blade glow with holy power. Fried laughed maniacally slashing at the line that had been holding him back. I see if I figure out how to use the holy elements I can get more powerful than before. Now stay down so you can be food for my sword, Fried said, jumping at Issei, catching Issei off guard because it was Kiba who he jumped at. He slashed out at Issei as Issei caught it with his hand, shocking everyone that was there. What? How did you grab my sword like that? Fried said, pissed that his sword couldn't hurt the devil. He lounged at Kiba only to be met by Zenobia. Hey Issei, we are finally here. Irina said. Irina, what are you doing? Saji asked. What, you called us, remember? Irina said. Wait, when? Saji asked. Good to see that you are paying attention. Kaneko said to Saji. You're both traitors. I condemn your souls in the name of our god. Zenobia shouted, pushing back Fried. How dare you say that name in front of me? Fried said. Kiba took the opportunity to attack while Zenobia had him pinned. Fried dodged it while laughing. You're done for tonight. All you had to do was take out the vermin from the church, yet there they are with holy swords, and we are outnumbered. Let us escape now. Valber said. Oh, so soon? See ya. Fried said, throwing a smoke grenade. Zenobia and Kiba jumped at them, hoping to hit them, but didn't. Let's go, Irina. Zenobia said with Kiba behind her. Guys, let's wait for our masters here. They should be here in 3, 2, 1. Issei said. Goodness, what have you gotten yourselves into? Came a voice from behind them. It was the two kings of the area with their queens. I have information that is very valuable to you. In exchange for this info, I ask that we be free of spanking for disobedience, since that was what we would have been punished for. Issei said, not wanting to get spanked like that again. It was fine for him if it was their hands, but with magic it was usually without pleasure. Fine. What info do you have? Sona said, wanting the information so she could plan ahead. The ones behind this incident are not a part of the main fallen group. They were betraying Azazel and is the reason Rainer is hiding right now. Issei said. How accurate is your information? Sona said, wondering who the correspondent was. It was Azazel himself. We are drinking blood, so to say. It is a benefit of being the Red Dragon Emperor. Issei said. All we can do now is wait for them. Alright, let us all spit and meet after school tomorrow. Sona said, taking her family home with her. Let us go home, Riaz. Issei said, taking her by the arm. Yes, let's all go home. Riaz said. Back at Issei's house he was greeted by a pleasant sight. It was Asia in a naked apron. Welcome home, you guys. Asia said. Issei, wanting to skip the story again, decided it was time for a test run. Riaz, why don't you go ask my mom if she has one for you? Issei asked. Light. Mom, I want to wear what Asia is wearing. Riaz said, heading back to where Issei's mom was. Asia, I need to test something. Issei said, pulling a bright yellow gemmed ring with the name Asia on it. Put this on and hold onto my hands. Issei said, putting the ring on her left hand ring ringer. Okay, Asia. Soul fusion. Issei said. The glow surrounded the two of them. Issei, it's you. Asia said. Asia, you know, have the memories of our future self. Excluding your death, of course. Trust me, you will be safe this time. Issei said, holding her gently. We are going to repeat everything till the three factions meeting. The only change I am making is saving Rainer and defeating Kakabiel myself, instead of having Vali do it, okay? Alright, Issei, I will try to. One question though, what about Kiba? Would you do it in the nurse's office again? Asia said, teasing Issei. Where did the innocent Asia go who didn't know what a condom was? Issei said, making Asia blush of her ignorance. Remember, you are the first one to be awakened from the future. The others might know I am from the future, but don't have theirs yet. Keep it a secret and act normal. Issei said. Okay, Issei, I am just glad I was first. Asia said with a smile. Well, you are the most reliable one, and I don't want Diodora touching you again. Drake has a plan on how to counter that when we get there. Issei said. He may be the reason I am here, but he has caused so much pain. Asia said. Riaz came out of a room to show Issei her naked apron. So how does it look? Riaz asked. Issei put his hand up. It looks great on you. Issei said, putting his thumb up. Thanks. Well, Asia, let's make some dinner. Riaz said. Yes, let's. Asia said. The next day. Issei was laying his head on his desk. Looks like we got a snoozer-looser situation over here. Hey bro. Mitsuda said. Ugh, you don't need to be that close to me. Issei said. So are you worried about whose titties are better? Riaz or Akeno? Akeno or Riaz, who is it going to be? The two said together. No, I don't need help with that. I found that it's better to like what's beyond her chest. After all, who wants to be with someone who is nothing but trash on the inside? Issei said, shocking the class except Asia, who giggled at what he said. After school they meet up with Riaz. Good news, my familiar found someone. Let us teleport there now. Riaz said. They then teleported to a forest path. There was a woman with wings with a girl with chestnut hair. Irina. Asia, come over here and help me heal her. Issei said, rushing to her side. Alright, Issei. Asia said, starting the healing process with Issei giving her some extra energy. Where are Kiba and Zenobia? Issei asked. They got away, I wasn't fast enough, I let them down. Irina said, please stay safe, Issei. She said, putting her hand on his cheek before passing out. A blue light came from behind them. It was Sona, Saji, and Tsubaki. Thank you so much for coming, Sona. Ria said. Of course, I came right after I received your message. The damage looks pretty bad. Sona said, taking notice of Irina's state. Yes. Twilight healing cannot heal consumed stamina. Asia said. I have the equipment to treat her at my house, Tsubaki. Right, Tsubaki said to her master, I will leave her with you. She picked up Irina, leaving via magic circle. So what happened? Saji asked. I don't know, but can I ask you to come out here, Fried? Issei asked, making everyone flinch. I thought I was doing a good job masking myself. Well, if it isn't that we all took the bait club. So many damn devils. Fried said, Asia Argento, the traitor nun who sold her soul to the devil. How much do you like your new life as devil scum? Asia didn't flinch. I am happy. Asia said, making Fried sad at her lack of reaction. Riaz and Sona both jumped in front of the group. Whoa. Don't blast the messenger. Someone wants to talk to you, Red. Fried said. Which someone? Riaz responded. Why, my boss. Fried said, having the 10-wing fallen angel appeared. It is a pleasure to meet you, daughter of the House of Gremory. I am Kakabiel. The fallen said. The pleasure is all mine. Please call me Riaz. So you are the leader of the Dark Angels? Riaz asked. It's nice to put a face to a name. Your crimson hair is quite breathtaking. It is as breathtaking as the Scarlet Devil King. Even the facial expressions are similar. That is absolutely nauseating. Kakabiel said. Thank you. Is there something you wish to discuss with me, or are you here to review my appearance? Riaz asked. I am thinking about doing some damage to this intuition and the residents of this town. Kakabiel said. Why would you want to harm our school? I figure if I do, Surziches will come to help his little sister. What do you think? Kakabiel said. You will be starting the war between God, fallen angels, and the devils alike. Riaz said. Better than what I got after stealing the Excaliburs. I though for certain Michael will come, but all he sent was a weak exorcist and 2 pathetic holy swordswomen. Honestly, it was disappointing. So wait, that is your goal? You only want to start a war? Riaz said. Yes. Until next time, toodaloo. He said, throwing a light spear at them. Issei jumped in front of everyone and said, Draconic shield. Causing a thick protection to come upon them to shield them from the light. He is off to the school. Kaneko said, pointing to the school. Let's go. Said Issei, leading the way to the fight. End of the part 1. So how was this story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.